Okay, let's talk about the internet, that magical place full of cats and apparently completely fabricated news about beloved character actors. Recently you might have seen it. Whispers, then shouts, online. Jonathan Joss, the voice of John Redcorn from King of the Hill, had supposedly been killed. Not just killed, but a victim of a horrific hate crime. Awful stuff, truly awful. If, it were true, which, spoiler alert, it absolutely wasn't. Not even a little bit. So, what happened there? Well, it's the internet doing what the internet does best, or perhaps worst. A completely baseless story pops up. It's shocking. It involves someone people recognize, and poof, it starts spreading. Like digital glitter. You find it everywhere, and it's impossible to get rid of. This wasn't an isolated incident, of course. This is just the Tuesday of misinformation. It's what we live with now, a constant barrage of things that may or may not be real. This Jonathan Joss situation, it's a perfect, if unfortunate, case study. It has all the ingredients for a viral falsehood. A recognizable name, a truly appalling and thankfully fictional event, and a platform, the internet, designed for rapid, unchecked dissemination. People see it, they feel something, shock, anger, sadness, and they share it, often without a second thought. The impulse to spread news, especially alarming news, is incredibly strong. Stronger, it seems, than the impulse to quickly type, "Is this true?" into a search engine. And why should we care? It's just some online rumor, right? Wrong. So incredibly wrong, because these fabricated stories, these pieces of digital detritus, they have consequences. They cause distress. They muddy the waters. They make it harder to know what's real. Imagine being Jonathan Joss, or his family, seeing these rumors. It's not harmless. It's a symptom of a much larger problem. A problem that affects all of us, whether we realize it or not. It's about the erosion of truth. And that, my friends, is a big deal. So, how does a piece of pure, unadulterated nonsense like the Jonathan Joss rumor suddenly get legs? And not just legs, but wings. First-class, jet-powered wings. Well, it often starts small. Someone somewhere makes it up. Maybe they're bored. Maybe they want clicks for their dodgy website. Maybe they're actively trying to cause trouble. The motive can be anything from pathetic to genuinely malicious. It doesn't take much to light the fuse. Then it hits the great amplifier, social media. And oh boy, do the algorithms love a bit of drama. These platforms are designed for engagement. Shares, comments, likes, angry faces, it's all fuel. The more a story provokes a reaction, the more the algorithm shows it to people. It doesn't care if it's true, it cares if it's sticky. So a lie that gets a lot of attention gets pushed further and wider. It's a vicious cycle, a digital feedback loop of falsehood. And it's not always organic, this spread. There are organized efforts, bot farms, troll accounts, coordinated inauthentic behavior. Call it what you want, it's people or programs deliberately trying to make these things go viral. They can target specific communities, prey on existing fears, and make a lie seem like a widely accepted fact. It's manipulation, pure and simple. They know how to game the system, and they do it effectively. It is, quite frankly, terrifying when you think about it too hard. The Joss rumor, for instance, ticked all the boxes. A known personality, a claim designed to provoke an emotional response, in this case, outrage and sadness regarding a hate crime. This emotional element is key. It's what makes people share without thinking. It bypasses our critical faculties. We react from the gut, not the brain. And that's precisely what purveyors of misinformation count on. They want you feeling, not thinking. It's a depressingly effective strategy. Now let's talk about the media, the press, journalists. What's their role in this whole mess? Are they fanning the flames, or are they the firefighters? Well, honestly, it can be both. Which is, yes, incredibly unhelpful. Sometimes media outlets, in a rush for clicks or to be first with a story, can end up amplifying misinformation. They might report on rumors or unconfirmed reports, and even with caveats, that gives the falsehood oxygen. Think about the pressure. A story is trending online. Everyone's talking about it. The temptation to cover it, even if it's flimsy, is huge. The 24/7 news cycle demands content, constant, never-ending content. And sometimes the standards slip. It's out there, they might reason, so we have to address it. But addressing it, even to debunk it later, can inadvertently give it a veneer of legitimacy for a while. The headline is seen, the correction often missed. It's a real problem. But then, there's the other side of the coin. The media can also be, and often is, a vital force for truth. Good journalists, reputable news organizations, they investigate. They verify, they debunk. They are the ones who will meticulously pick apart a false narrative and show you why it's wrong. They provide context, they speak to actual sources, they do the hard work of sorting fact from fiction. These are the people who stand between us and a total free-for-all of nonsense. We need them, desperately. The challenge for us, the consumers of news, is figuring out who is who. In an ocean of information, telling the life raft from the lead weight is getting harder. Clickbait sites look like real news, opinion is presented as fact, and the sheer volume of it all is overwhelming. It takes effort to be a discerning news consumer, an effort that, frankly, many people don't have the time or inclination for, but the distinction between responsible journalism and reckless amplification is critical. So, this whole misinformation nightmare, how do we even begin to clean it up? Is there a giant delete fake news button somewhere? Sadly, no. If there were, I'd be pressing it all day. But there are things we can do. It starts with education, media literacy, teaching everyone from kids to grandparents how to spot a dodgy source, how to question what they see online, how to not take everything at face value. It's about critical thinking, a skill in short supply it seems. Then there are the fact-checkers. Organizations like Snopes, PolitiFact, and others around the world, these people are the unsung heroes of the internet. They wade through the muck so we don't have to. Support them, use them. Before you share that shocking story your aunt posted, take 10 seconds. Seriously, 10 seconds. Pop it into a search engine with the word hoax or fact check. You'd be amazed what you find. Or more importantly, what you don't find. And what about the giant tech companies, the social media platforms? They have a massive role to play. And frankly, they need to do a lot more. More transparency in how information spreads. Better, more consistent moderation of harmful content. Real penalties for those who deliberately and repeatedly spread disinformation. They built these global communication networks. They have a responsibility to ensure they aren't primarily used as fire hoses of falsehood. It's not censorship, it's responsible stewardship. Because ultimately, the impact of all this is devastating. It's not just about one actor being falsely reported as a victim. It's about the systemic erosion of trust. Trust in media, trust in institutions, trust in each other. It fuels polarization. It can incite real-world violence. It makes us dumber, angrier, and more divided. The false Jonathan Joss story caused unnecessary alarm. Scale that up, and you see the danger. We have to demand better from ourselves, from the media, and from the platforms. Because the truth, well, the truth actually matters.